Hey, I'm Milan, and welcome to Volume 2 of the Course Podcast.
And it's Pierre-Jerome! Pierre-Jerome has plenty of space. Just her and Ben. Pierre-Jerome, her second of
the day. Welcome back to the Course Podcast. I'm your host, Milan Pierre-Jerome, and today the episode is going to be about my journey and what got me to where I am today. So I was born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Broward County, Florida, best state in the world. But yeah, I was born there. My mom's Jamaican, my dad's Haitian. My dad was originally born in Chicago. My mom was born in New York, and then they had me in Florida. I have two brothers, Sebastian and Adrian. And yeah, I've always been, someone that loves dancing, trying different foods, trying Haitian food and Jamaican food. I grew up loving that. And, having two brothers, I've always been playing sports, and having all boy cousins, I've always played sports. So yeah, I grew up just loving my culture and loving Broward County and just everything it had to offer. I started playing soccer when I was 4 or 5 years old. My dad played professionally. He played for Haiti, went to Coastal Carolina as a goalkeeper. And, it was kind of like in my blood to start playing soccer. So I began at around 4 or 5 and started playing rec soccer, Weston FC, played for Weston FC majority of my life. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It was something that I enjoyed doing. I played, basketball for a summer. I ran track in middle school, but soccer was always that sport that I loved to do. I loved stepping on the field, scoring goals, playing with my teammates. And I played with my teammates from my childhood for about 6-7 years. So I grew up with them, and it was hard because I had to leave that team when I went to 8th grade because there was another league developing, and my mom had to drive me an hour to practice every day of the week. So I started that new league, and I had to leave that team that I started rec soccer with. So that was really hard, having to leave school, drive an hour every day with players I didn't know a lot. But, I sacrificed, my parents sacrificed, and yeah, it's my beginning soccer story. So when I played for Weston, my dad also coached in Weston. He was a goalkeeper coach, and he would coach after school. He would stay until 9:30, 10, and I would have to stay there too because, he was my ride home. So he would coach these girls that were older than me. They were high school or seniors. I was in middle school, and this one goalkeeper that he coached was like, you need to learn how to kick, for real. I had sure, it wasn't anything far. My kicks weren't far, they weren't powerful. So I would stay after until 10 with my dad while he was coaching him with this girl. Her name was Coco, and we would practice just kicking because I didn't have that much power. And we would stay there hours in the night. And as soon as I started getting it, I was like, okay, I want to start playing with boys. So after my practice was done, I'd start, playing with guys, and then I'd start playing with older girls too. My coach that I used to play with, she plays for Tottenham. I used to play with her team. And when I saw, I could play with these girls. I wasn't anything special, but I was able to stay with them. I was like, okay, I could really take this to the next level. So I started putting in that work. I met one really good friend of mine, TJ, and he really pushed me as a player. There was our first training together, I couldn't juggle properly, and we stayed at the park for hours until I could get some juggles in. And I used to be so upset with him because I was like, I can't do this. Why are we still here? But yeah, he kept pushing me, and we would go to the walls and play wall ball, and my touch got better and better, and my juggling got better and better, and that's when I was really okay, I could really take this to the next level. So as I went through my soccer journey, and as I went through playing with Boca, when I told you my mom was taking me an hour to practice every day, and my parents were sacrificing a lot for me, I was just being able to learn about myself as a player. And I had to go back to Sunrise because ECNL was going closer to me, so I didn't have to drive an hour every day. So I went back to Sunrise and I started playing for Sunrise Prime, and that was only like 10 minutes from my house, so like that was good. And I started playing with them. I started playing well, and this is my sophomore year of high school. And then that's when I started, going to showcases, started going to tournaments where a lot of college coaches were there. And for girls soccer at the time, girls were committing 8th grade year, 9th grade year. So, I mean, I wasn't really rushing anything, but I was like, okay, like you kind of need to start considering college, which is crazy thinking about when you're only 14, 15 years old. So, I was playing for Sunrise, and one of my coaches was just saying, like, you got to start, considering, where you want to go. So I went to this showcase, and my dream school, I always wanted to go to school in the DMV area because I have family here, and that's something I always wanted to do. My dad took me to some like engineering thing at the University of Maryland because I wanted to be an engineer. That's out. I don't want to do that anymore, but I wanted to be an engineer. So my dad took me for a summer to come visit one of my cousins and go to this engineering camp at University of Maryland. And I went, and I really liked the area. So, I really wanted to stay within the area. So I never really considered University of Maryland. My dream school was Georgetown. So, I emailed the coaches, and they came to one of my, showcases, and I was excited. I was ready. I was going to, hopefully, get an offer to go to the school. And I played in the games. They came to my games, and that was probably the worst games of soccer I've ever played in my life. And, they didn't keep in contact with me, but, I had other showcases after that. And, I wasn't really worried about who was on the sideline anymore. I was just playing just to play for me and not be worried about that. So, as I kept going to these showcases and kept competing, Maryland kept coming to my games, and I didn't realize because I wasn't really, focused on who was on the sidelines. And Maryland was, after about 2-3 showcases, they reached out to me, and they were just like, we want you to come and just, see it wasn't a visit, it was just see the campus. So then I went and saw the campus, and then I did their ID camp. So when I went to go see the campus, wasn't visit, just ID camp. And honestly, I haven't really heard about people committing through ID camps. It was more of something that I was like, okay, like I'm just going to go just play, see how it is, see how the school is. So I went to an ID camp my sophomore year of high school, and there was a lot of girls. There were like 30 girls, and we were all playing scrimmaging, and I did well. And the coach asked me to come back the next weekend for a visit. So then I came back the next weekend, and I really went on a visit. I saw the whole school, and I was really, I was talking to other schools, but I really liked the area. I really liked the school and what it had to offer. And then he offered for me to come to Maryland, and I was only a sophomore in high school. So I was, kind of like, I don't know what to do. Should I wait? Should I commit? And it just felt right. So I committed, and I verbally committed to the University of Maryland. So that was my sophomore year, and it definitely made me feel good just to be able to commit, and just have that weight off my shoulder for, 2 more years of high school. So yeah, that was my recruiting process. So before going into the University of Maryland, there was COVID. And, oh gosh. Okay. So before going into the University of Maryland, there was COVID. And before COVID, my senior year of high school, there was only 2 or 3 games left. And I was going in for a shot to shoot the ball. And I got kind of pushed over, and I tore my ACL. And it was something hard for me because it's not something everyone fears that as a soccer player, tearing your ACL. But yeah, I went down, and I just remember screaming, which was crazy because my parents didn't really go to my high school games because, the beginning, well, they went to my high school games, but some games they were like, okay, I have to work, and, it wasn't really good games for them to have to come to. So this game, they told me they both had to work, and somehow they both came to that game. And when I tore my ACL, they ran out. My coaches ran out. We ran into the training room, and my best friends were there too, and they came into the room with me, and I was just freaking out. I was like, I'm about to go to college. I'm seniors. I wanted to go play in Maryland, and mind you, I didn't know about COVID yet. I was just really focused, and at this point, I was at a high with soccer and what I was doing. I really felt like I was fit. I was ready. I wanted to compete, and it was just really sad that I had to go down during that time. But when I went down, my family came out, and I had to go into the training room. My best friends were with me, and it was a hard time just having to go through that. And so then the next year, or the end of my senior year, we were faced with COVID. We all went through COVID, and I had to come to a decision on whether or not I wanted to go to the University of Maryland in the fall. So I decided to stay at home, and I decided to just get one-on-one rehab with Force Physical Therapy, which is the best physical therapy. And I stayed at home. I worked appliables. I trained to just get better and get ready throughout that fall semester. And it was a hard time having to stay home by myself because, I saw my friends going, and then my parents worked and my siblings went to school. So it was really me and just learning about myself as an individual, and just, trying to learn about myself and, just being on my own, even though I was still at home. So I had to stay at home and just learn about myself, grow, get my knee better. And then I went to the University of Maryland in the spring. So when I went to the University of Maryland in the spring, I met my roommate, Tori. I met Olivia, Aaron, Zora. Those are my first freshman year roommates, and they made it a great experience for me, just, living in the dorms together and just going into our first college game. The season didn't count, but we were all playing together and just getting acclimated to the season and the college experience. So I was definitely nervous coming in as a freshman, playing with 5th year, 6th year, seniors. But it was definitely a good experience just going into that transition. I love the Maryland area. I love the people. So going to Maryland was a good experience. And then after my freshman year started my sophomore year. And when my sophomore year started, it was something, I was also learning, different positions. I was trying to prove myself as a player, trying to get more time. It was something, but I learned about myself, and I just kept playing and trying to, do the best I can every opportunity I was given. And then, the end of my sophomore year, we had a new coach come in, and I decided to go into the transfer portal. And I decided to go to the transfer portal when I was just, at a point where I just wanted something different, and I wanted to, go somewhere, get a different experience on the field. So I entered the transfer portal, which was hard. And I started looking at different schools, went on different visits, and it made sense to go to George Mason to me. Everything they had to offer was something that I felt fit me, and went to George Mason. And that was my Maryland life. So I went to George Mason, and I got to George Mason my junior year of 2022. And when I got to Mason, I was very closed off. I wasn't really talking to a lot of people. I was just trying to learn about the environment, learn the people and the team, because I was going to a team that was brand new as well. There wasn't a lot of players that have been there from before. So I was just trying to just get a feel, and I started to learn about, my teammates, find some friends, and I really loved the school. I was able to, get some good minutes coming in. I became a captain, which was great. And, my teammates are my sisters, and I've just been able to, grow with them. So going through my junior year, continue to go with them, and going into my senior year, same thing, just continue to love the school, the people, my advisors, just loved doing what I was doing at Mason, and really found myself on the field again. I was growing in confidence. I felt like I was was really able to find myself on the field, and the player that wasn't really there at times at Maryland. So definitely something that I'm thankful coming to George Mason did for me. So I've been playing for Haiti since I was 14, 15 years old. My sophomore year of high school, I got a call up to go to Haiti for 2 weeks and stay in Haiti, and, just learn about the team, learn about the culture, try to make the team. So I went to Haiti for 2 weeks, and I tried out with the girls. I met some of my forever sisters, Nini, Coventina. I just met a lot of people, and it was a great experience, and I was able to do well. I played in the Caribbean Cup. I scored in one of those games, which was an amazing experience, just to be able to score in Haiti in the stadium and have all those fans screaming. That was definitely a highlight. But I've been playing with them since I was 14, 15, and then going into my sophomore year of high school, or going into my junior year of high school, we went into the U17 World Cup qualifiers, and we played Mexico, Canada, and the US, which is all top tier talent in CONCACAF. So that was an experience because, I was playing right back against some top players, and just getting acclimated to a new position. But yeah, I played right back with Haiti all throughout youth, and I was playing against, some great players. So I was able to do that, and we didn't make it to the World Cup, but U20 came, which was a year later, and we qualified for the U20 World Cup, which was in France. So I was able to go to the U20 World Cup when I was 18 years old. So that was a great experience. I spent the whole summer in France, 3 months. So that was a great experience, and I was able to get a taste of professional soccer. So going to the World Cup as an 18-year-old was I don't know. It was a lot, but it was definitely a blessing to be able to experience that and play Nigeria, China, Germany, great teams, and just see them and get on the field and play. And it was a great experience, U20 World Cup, and, listening to French and trying the different foods. So that was great. And then going into my senior year of high school for the Olympic trials, that's when I tore my ACL to continue to help them to try to make the Olympics. And then my junior year of college at George Mason, I was able to compete with Haiti and work towards getting to the World Cup. So we had our different FIFA windows, and throughout the different FIFA windows, we were able to qualify for the World Cup. And the last FIFA window, the last stage 2 qualifying was in New Zealand. And in New Zealand was when we played Chile and Senegal. So we played those 2 teams, and the first team we played was Senegal. We had to beat them to get to play Chile to qualify. We beat Senegal, and that was a great experience, but the job wasn't finished. So then the next game we played Chile, and we qualified. It was insane just seeing all the players, my teammates, my coaches, players that I've been playing with since I was 14, 15 years old, running out to me. We were all crying, just thanking God for this, and just seeing everyone so emotional was amazing. I've always said to myself, I wanted to go to the World Cup. Like, that's always been something I've always looked up to and I've always wanted to do. So to be able to just say that I was going to a World Cup was insane. So I was definitely emotional because just all that hard work and all of that sacrifice that my parents did for me, and all the sacrifice I did to get to that point was, and just as a team, just for the country, being able to represent Haiti was something that was near and dear to my heart. So we went to the locker room, we were dancing, we were celebrating, we were crying, and it was a great experience just to be able to, do that for Haiti and put a smile on everyone's faces, because, it's a lot to be able to hold that and get through that. So it was just something that I was just proud of, and being able to represent the country and in a positive light, and just that was a great experience. And then after that, going into my senior year, this past summer, We went to Switzerland for our practice trial or our practice rounds to just be able to prepare for the World Cup. So we played in Switzerland, played some friendlies, and that was a great experience. And then we went to South Korea to play another friendly, and then we went to Australia. And Australia was an amazing experience. I wish I could go back. Just journaling every day, remembering everything, and being with my teammates, dancing, eating food, just having acai bowls, like just doing different things. It was an amazing experience, and being able to play against amazing countries and just be at the pinnacle of soccer was a great experience. So yeah, that was World Cup, and just being able to see my mom and my dad in the crowd, it was very emotional for me because they're one of the reasons, God and my parents were the reasons that I was there. And just to be able to have them there seeing me play and representing my country and just being able to do something that my dad was trying to do and he couldn't because he couldn't qualify was something that was very emotional for me. And just being able to see them there and supporting me was something that was amazing. So definitely an experience I will never forget. So I went to St. Thomas Aquinas High School, and we had some amazing athletes, top tier athletes. And, I became friends with a lot of them. Soccer, football, basketball, track. I just had some great friends, and they've been at great places. And I've just always liked learning about people's stories and having them come and, talk about what got them to where they are today, because it's just something that, is motivational. People, young kids that want to be where we are. And I was thinking to myself, how can I get my friends, people like me, to be able to tell their stories? It's not going to be on Podcast P or, the Pivot, but still hear stories that should be heard. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to start a podcast. And I did it on Zoom. I reached out to some of my friends, and, it's something that I just wanted to start because I feel everyone's story just deserves to be heard. So started it, did it on Zoom, and then I did this volume right now in person. And I'm just excited to see where it goes. I love hearing about these athletes' journeys, and just hearing you guys tell me you guys love the episodes is motivational for me, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So I also started with TJ, the friend that I was talking about earlier, when I was training a business in South Florida where we coach little kids and we train them, and from ages 5 and up. We've always trained, and we've always had, people join and come in our training sessions, and we didn't want to really work too much. Not work too much. We didn't really want to have a regular job. We wanted to do something that we loved, and we just came up with the idea to start Beat the Odds Development Training, BTO, and it's been great. We started it our sophomore years of college, and we love the kids, just seeing them grow and seeing them improve. And we miss them when we're at school, but just seeing them over the summer breaks and the winter breaks develop into, great players. It's just something that's amazing. And having them support us when we're playing, when I was playing the World Cup, when TJ's playing in college, it's just great to have those people that are behind you. It motivates you to just keep going. So I just finished my senior year of college, and I just applied to my master's. And I'm going to finish my last year of eligibility here at George Mason. So I will continue with that, work towards getting my master's. And I really want to, continue with sport management within my master's and continue to grow within marketing, because that's a goal of mine, and continue to play, work towards playing professionally, and just, being able to experience the professional world and get to that next level. So those are my goals. And obviously continue with the podcast and have it grow, and BTO have that continue to grow. So I have different goals and just want to see them keep going. My life goals kind of go hand in hand with, developing in soccer and continue to grow. And then with my career, my sports marketing, going into that field and just working with a professional team, whether it's in the NFL, MLS, NBA, EPL, whatever it is, just continuing to help athletes in the professional sports world and just doing what I love, working through sports and continuing to grow my business, BTO, and the podcast. So those are some of my goals. Well, some of my hobbies, I guess I would say, is the podcast. I love listening to music. I love dancing, hanging out with my family and friends, going to the beach at night and just getting that nice breeze. I love trying new foods, doing challenges on TikTok. Yeah, I'd say those are my hobbies. So I don't really know how to describe my style, but I would say that it's like depending on my mood, how I want to look that day. So I'd say sometimes it's streetwear, sometimes it's nice, classy, just things like that. It just depends on my mood. So I'm more of, you get what you get on that day. Gabby Short asked, favorite moment in your soccer career so far? I definitely have to say going to the World Cup, experiencing 3 countries, seeing different cultures, trying different foods. That was definitely a favorite moment of mine. Naya Spitsfire asked, who inspired you the most to keep working? Definitely my parents, just seeing how hard they work and just to be able to put a smile on my brothers and I faces and just being able to see how much they sacrifice for me to get to where I am today is definitely just motivated me to keep going and keep playing and keep working. So definitely my parents. Ronnie Polite asked, what is your biggest accomplishment? I would say in soccer, the World Cup, through academics, I'd say probably getting, outstanding student, one of the top in the class. So that's definitely something that I would say is the big accomplishment of mine. 8Benji _ asks, what's the hardest thing to overcome? What was the hardest thing to overcome? I'd say the hardest thing to overcome was my ACL injury. Having to sit out for a year, not play a game in 14 months was definitely a hard experience for me. Seeing everyone playing, seeing games, seeing my teammates go and play in college was definitely hard, but I was able to get through it. Amira Faith asked, what are you most excited about going into this upcoming season? I'm excited about just being able to get one more opportunity with my teammates. I'm very close with them, having a new coach, working towards winning, getting far within the A10. That's definitely something that I'm excited, just having this last season with my girls. Velo05 asked, what is your favorite Haitian dish? My favorite Haitian dish... Oh my gosh. What is my favorite Haitian dish? My favorite Haitian dish is griot. Definitely griot. Griot is my favorite. With sauce pois. Yes, those are my favorite dishes. Vasaki asked, favorite pregame song. Favorite pregame song would be, I'd probably say Brighter Day by Kirk Franklin. And then he said, what was the most intense game you played in during your career? Probably when we played Canada when I was U17 trying to qualify for that World Cup. That was an intense game. Burns asked when things got hard, what kept you motivated? I would definitely say same thing, my parents, just sacrificing everything they have, just keep going and work for them. Naj Bai asks, what country do you see yourself living in and why? I don't know what specific country. I think anywhere that presents new opportunities, different culture, learning about different things and different foods. So I wouldn't have a specific country, but yeah, I'm open to anything. Maddie T25 asked, how has your journey with God influenced your game or the way you play? I definitely say it's just given me confidence to be able to just keep going, keep working. He has a path for me, and he's created it just for me. So it's given me confidence to just keep working and just keep trusting in him with my journey. And every time I step on the field, it's just a part of that path and that story that he's written for me already. Caleb asked, what motivated you to play for Haiti? My dad definitely motivated me to play for Haiti. Him playing professionally and playing with Haiti before and seeing what he was able to do with the national team definitely motivated me. Joni Mack asked, what has been your proudest college moment on and off the pitch? I'd say on the pitch, scoring the winning goal against George Washington University. Off the pitch, I'd say honestly being able to coach those little kids back home, seeing them develop and seeing them grow. Some of the girls that TJ and I have been coaching have grown, and it's crazy seeing them and how old they are now, and seeing how, they've developed as players, and just being able to be a part of that development is something I'm definitely proud of. Emily asked, some advice you could give to your younger self while you were navigating sports. I would say, don't panic. Be in the moment. Don't worry about what's next. Don't worry about who's there, who's watching. Just be present and enjoy the moment. And something my grandma always says, enjoy the moment. So just enjoy what's in front of you and just do what you love. Don't worry about all the outside factors and coaches, recruits, scouts. Just worry about what you're doing and enjoy what you're doing and love what you're doing. So that's it for this episode. Make sure you follow us on all of our platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and it was great. This volume was great. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to all the athletes that's been on this volume, and I appreciate everything, and we'll see you guys in the next volume. Bye.